Look what just arrived. Indigosea LLC. And here they are. Here's a receipt. Amazing. Through the plastic already. I can already tell. I mean, I've seen it online, but let's get it open. Workwear and combat gear. Built well, fit well, great price. Limited edition selvage jeans. The relaxed fitting jeans made with heavyweight red selvage denim is woven using a traditional old-fashioned wooden shuttle loom, 15.5 ounce per square yard with 30-inch and 32-inch inseam. Inspired by vintage reinforced knees work pants. Indigo1995.com. That is Indigo C. And I just realized I left these hang tags sitting here like for a full day. These are the Indigo C hang tags that we just showed with the kind of postcard thing on the back there. Very cool. And these are really nice 15.5 ounce indigo carpenter pants, I guess you can call them. So typically within this space, within like this workwear slash fashion kind of space, these are called double fronts, and you can tell pretty easily by the fact that there's double material on the front, the knee section and around the pocket section, which creates this really cool looking shape around the crotch. This is natural indigo. I can smell it. The website, I do believe, says these are salvage, but as you can see from me rolling it up here, we don't have any kind of salvage lines or markings, and we'll get into some close-ups later. But you see the triple stitching on the outseam, the triple stitching on the inseam, and they're very clean lines on the inside of here. But there's no salvage material. And salvage is a self edge, right? When the loom creates the denim, it creates a self edge, and that's what the selvage is, right? And it is typically the color red, but it can be any color. And when it comes to material like this, technically you don't even need to have the selvage on there for this to be salvage. It can technically be salvage without the self edge, but I don't think it is. These come in at a 31-inch inseam for the size 30 inseam. Same with the size 32. Those have 1 inch longer on the inseam, so they're technically 33. So anyone up to about like 6'2" can probably wear the size 32 inseams. Obviously depends on your proportions and your actual inseam. These are 31-inch inseam. My natural inseam is closer to about 30 and a half. So this is probably about the perfect range for me. Same thing with my Wranglers. I typically wear Wranglers right around like 31.2 inches because I like, especially when I'm sitting, when I'm crouching, when I'm kneeling. You see how the material still comes down near the bottom of my boot, whereas if it's at my natural inseam and I'm sitting like in a natural way, it will come up like right around here. And I'm not always wearing 8-inch boots, right? So you'll see like my leg or my sock, and I'm not super into that, especially when it comes to being in the desert with spiky things and animals and stuff. And one of the things I wanted to show was the rise of this. As you can see, these are a high rise. Unlike Wrangler 13 MWZ, which a lot of people consider to be a high rise, I would consider that to be more of a high mid rise. So it's like the highest a mid rise can go, the Wranglers. But these, like my belly button is like basically in line with the top of this. So this is definitely a high rise pant. And as you can see as well, just for the length is really good for me. I think this is like legitimately about the perfect length. They might shrink up just a tad after a couple of washes, and I won't wash these for probably like 60 plus days, as Indigo C does mention in their website on the product page. They say not to wash them for at least 60 days, and that's more of a denim head kind of thing. You don't actually have to listen to that, but if you want like the higher contrast fades, you want them to look better, and you notice that denim heads have jeans that you prefer the look of over like maybe washed jeans or Levi's or something like that, then listen to that instruction and don't wash them. They'll end up being fine. It is a little bit nasty, I guess, if you're out here working and you're not washing your jeans, but at the same time, indigo is really nice because it's antimicrobial. So the cotton, the indigo together, and your booty stench, you're still going to be able to smell it, but It's gonna be just a little bit less disgusting. And here we come in for some close-ups of this Indigosea LLC garment. Look at this. I like this kind of tag. It just looks good, looks old school. You have bar tacking in all the right places, all around where bar tacking should be, which is just a reinforcement. If you don't know what bar tacking is, we have a YKK zipper. It's nice and beefy, reminds me of Wrangler 13 MWZ type zippers, where it's kind of hefty compared to something like a Levi's, which usually I feel is like 1 gauge lesser. Maybe it's just the pull. It might not even be about the zip itself, but like the pull, this pull is what feels kind of nice and hefty. I like that. It's riveted where it needs to be riveted, and in fact it's riveted where it doesn't even need to be riveted. Like on the back, you can see the back pockets are riveted, and a lot of the time with jeans and stuff, they don't do that anymore. It's just purely like bar tacking on the back. But this is riveted all the way through, as you can see. True rivets. And what else do we have? Let's see, manufactured by Indigosea. Yeah, wash this. So this is 100% cotton, right? This is basically as old school and nice as you can get in terms of not having synthetics, because I'm not too into synthetics, although I'm not against them either, because I am wearing, this is synthetic, this is polyester, and I like it, it's fine. But in my mind, I prefer, whenever possible, natural materials like cotton, wool, leather, and it's just not just because it's better for the earth, but also just like in my mind, like it's just how I am. Like, you know, we have preferences in life, and it doesn't have to be because of some cause. I just like it. I just prefer natural materials. I like that it's antimicrobial. These pockets, by the way, the front ones, because these are a double front, right? The double front pants all the way, well, not all the way down, but basically all the way down. So from, you know, there down to your knee, like below your knee, in fact. And this is stitched like this for relief, because when you're sitting, it you know, this is supposed to be kind of rounded, right? Your shin in the front. So if you were to stitch that just straight, it would make a kind of awkward puckering. I believe that's what that's for. I'm pretty sure that's why that's designed that way, but tell me if I'm wrong. That is not like an insert. You don't insert like knee pads in there. But going back to what I was saying about these front pockets, after I interrupted myself with them being double fronts, because these front pockets are double front, they're really nice because they're like dump pockets. So they're only lined on the front side of it with this nice kind of cotton lining, which is what the pocket bag would be in a typical jean. But you can't pull this out like it's a pocket bag, because it's just stitched onto this panel, and then your hand goes in here to the front of the jeans, right? The front of the denim. And that's really nice because both the length and just the feel, like the feel you have when you put your hands in there feels really good, because it's just like this, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's a fairly simple thing, but it's a very nice feeling. And then you have as well the fifth pocket, as they would call on jeans, or the watch pocket, very long. In fact, like my fingers just barely kind of get to the bottom, so it's quite long. I can fit 3 fingers in there. You have the hammer loop, which is riveted as well right there for the weight of the hammer. I have a fairly hefty hammer, so that's nice. I don't think it's even necessary, but it's very nice. Then you have this part that's riveted, this pocket right here, which you can like put the hammer head in or some other tool. It's better for me to keep my hammer outside of that little pocket because it's a large one. On the other side, on the right side, you have 2 pockets, or rather this is 1 pocket. It's 2 sections, and this pocket right here, or this section right here, goes into the same pocket. It's just like a divider. So yeah, that's very useful. Riveted here as well. Doesn't even really need to be. Like, why the heck, you know, in my mind, doesn't need it, but I love that it's like that. And here we have the thick vegetable tanned leather patch. As you can see, it's already kind of aging and patinating, which looks nice, workwear and combat gear. Indigosea LLC, Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, U.S. founder ZK. The back pockets are not lined. Typically when you see, well, hold on, let me confirm before I say something and be wrong about it. No, I'm right. So the back pockets are not lined. Typically when you see like lining like this on the back of a pair of jeans or something, a lot of the time that indicates there's a lining on the bottom of the pocket, so it would be lined with cotton, kind of like the cotton pocket bag on the front pocket. But no, this is just a decorative stitch here, and it's like an arcuate, I guess you could say. But typically if you see it like a horizontal stitch like this, that's not meant to be an arcuate much of the time, and there will be a lining. But in here there's no lining, which is fine because this is a 15.5 ounce denim, so it's basically a 16 ounce denim, especially after you wash it. I'm not sure how much it will shrink, probably not too much. I'm sure it's sanforized, which means it went through a pre-shrink process, but that doesn't mean that it can't shrink through a wash. And as you can see, triple stitched down both the outseam and the inseam, as I mentioned. Very nicely done as well. This is like nice stitching, and typically the inside isn't going to matter as much to people, but to Indigosea it certainly does, because as you can see, it's very clean. I'm going to turn it inside out, in fact. And there you have it. You can see the rivets. You can see the stitch work, which is basically perfect. There's zero wrong with this. I mean, it's just great. Great, nice denim. Basically 16 ounce denim. Heavyweight. These are heavy. Like, when you're wearing these, you will absolutely feel it. Kind of like wearing a heavy pair of boots compared to maybe if you're used to sneakers or something. Even compared to the Wrangler 13 MWZ, which are almost the same weight. These are like a 15 ounce, and these are 15.5. And these feel super light compared to these because, of course, the double material and like the triple stitching kind of stuff, just the heftiness, all the rivets, all of that adds up to just this really quality, solidly built product.